Have you ever noticed how some people need outrage the way others need morning coffee? It doesn't matter what the topic is, politics, pop culture, the weather, there's always someone you know, or someone online, who's ready to explode, accuse, or declare the downfall of civilization. And if there isn't anything to be mad about, don't worry, they'll find something. But here's the real twist. This isn't just about angry people. There's a deeper psychology behind it. Today, we're diving into the psychology of people who need to outrage. Why some of us seek it, spread it, or get pulled into it without even realizing. Because the truth is, outrage isn't just an emotion. It's a habit. Some people don't stumble into outrage, they hunt for it. They scroll through the news or social media the way one paces for their next fix, trying to scan for something, anything, that will trigger that familiar rush of indignation. And that rush is real. Outrage dumps dopamine and cortisol into the system. For some, it becomes a loop. Get angry, feel powerful, feel alive, and repeat. You see it everywhere. People who treat every inconvenience like a personal attack. People who wake up looking for a reason to be furious at strangers on Facebook. People who feel bored, empty, or strangely uncomfortable unless they're wound up about something. What starts as irritation becomes a habit, and then a lifestyle, a form of recreational outrage. And the scariest part? Many don't even realize it. If outrage is a problem, then modern media is the dealer. News outlets, influencers, and social platforms are all built on the same business model. If it enrages, it engages. The more upset you are, the longer you stay, the more you comment, the more ads you see, and the more money they make. Algorithms have discovered that the most efficient way to hold the human mind is to keep it slightly angry at all times. It's not an accident. Entire online communities function as outrage clubs, gathering places where people hype each other up, reinforce tribal lines, and escalate from irritation to hate to extremism. The result? Divided families, destroyed relationships, and people who feel constantly under attack, even when no one is actually doing anything to them. Limiting exposure to inflammatory posts, political arguments, or sensationalized content can reduce triggers before they escalate. Instead, engage with content that is calming, uplifting, or constructive. Read novels, watch movies that relax or inspire you, or follow social media accounts that promote positivity. By controlling what you consume, you can protect your emotional state and reduce unnecessary frustration caused by external media. A lot of people claim they have anger problems. But many stories reveal something more disturbing. These same people can flip from raging to charming the second a cop, neighbor, or stranger shows up. You can't call this an anger issue, not if the person is demonstrating control. It's the parent who yells at their family all day, but suddenly becomes polite when the doorbell rings. It's the uncle who insists he can't control his temper, except around authority. It's the person who terrorizes their partner, but is beloved in the community. No, this isn't an uncontrollable emotion. In psychology, this is called selective performance, and here it is shown as public kindness and private cruelty. For people who want to work on this, it is possible. Before reacting, ask yourself, what is causing this anger? Is it really about the situation or something beneath it, like a bruised ego, feeling cheated, or disrespected? Pause to identify the actual problem. Once you know the source, you are actually able to separate yourself from the emotion and address it logically rather than explosively. Don't focus on whether the person deserves your rage. Focus on what's happening beneath the surface and how it can be resolved constructively. That's when some people learn to ask better questions of themselves. Not, does this person deserve my anger, but where is this anger actually coming from? Often, the real problem hides beneath the surface. A bruised ego, a sense of being cheated, humiliated, ignored, or disrespected. When you can identify the real wound, you can address it without detonating on someone who had nothing to do with it. For many, outrage doesn't start as a choice. It starts as survival. Children who grow up with screaming, violence, or unpredictable anger often develop hyper-awareness, reading every shift in expression, every footstep, every tone change. Their bodies learn to live in fight or flight, soaked in cortisol, always prepared for an explosion. For them, calm feels unsafe. Chaos feels normal. So as adults, they recreate what they know, picking fights, provoking drama, sabotaging relationships, or seeking out news that keeps them on edge. Not because they like suffering, but because suffering is what their nervous system recognizes as home. This outrage is not entertainment, but rather the result of conditioning. The good news is, as this anger is a learned response by your brain, it can also unlearn this. Acknowledge the concerns of those around you and make conscious efforts to work on them. Something as simple as establishing the current needs of those around you in the present and adopting a more open mindset can go a long way to make people less prone to outrage and develop a calmer state of mind. Some people grow up surrounded by anger, so rage becomes their native language. Automatic, instinctive, almost inherited. But they can use silence as the first line of defense. With distance, maturity, or just exhaustion, they start learning new ways to interrupt that old script. The first rule is simple: say nothing. When you feel yourself tipping toward rage, silence is a shield. Words spoken in anger can't be unsaid, and most regrets start with a sentence you wish you never launched. So pause. Breathe, quietly, deeply. That tiny gap gives your brain something else to focus on. People with outrage often need villains. And if there isn't one available, they can simply create one. Someone looks at them the wrong way. A neighbor is suddenly out to get them. A stranger laughs across the room, so of course it must be about them. Ordinary people living their lives become walking triggers just for existing. Neutral events are twisted into personal attacks, insults, or threats. In their minds, the world is always plotting, always pushing, always disrespecting. In the end, outrage becomes both the weapon they use and the wound they keep reopening. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos on brain-friendly breakdowns that make life a little easier and a lot more fun. Drop a comment telling us what you thought. See you in the next video.